Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm pleased to be joined by defender Nigel Lonwijk. We'll start with Catherine Hanna from BBC Radio Leeds.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year, Nigel.
Happy New Year.
Let's start with the Wigan postponement, first of all. How do you view that? Frustrating that it didn't go ahead, or good that it gives you a little bit more time to prepare for tomorrow?
I think it's a bit of both, because we prepared for the game, so we were all ready for the game and we just want to play the game. I think we're in a good flow, rhythm's going well, so I think everyone just wanted to play the game.
What happened after you realised it wasn't going to go ahead?
I think we all just made our way home back to our families and spent New Year's Day with family and prepared for the training the next day.
Overall, how pleased have you been with the performances and the results over the Christmas period?
I think we've done really well. We're still unbeaten for quite a while now, so we keep picking up points, and at the end of the season that's what you need, and just keep picking up points every game.
Do you think you're starting to show that resilience that Michael Duff's talked about so much, that being able to grind out results even when the performances maybe haven't been as good as they can be?
Yeah, I think we've not played our best lately, but we're still winning or getting a draw out, so that really shows that as a team we got stronger and we know how to fight for each other and get points.
And as you say, now you've got that unbeaten run. I think it's 13 games now in League One.
Yeah.
How determined does that make you to keep that going now you've got that run off and running?
Yeah, I think everyone wants to keep it going as long as possible. If it was up to me, I'd just keep it going till the end of the season, really.
A Yorkshire derby next then against Rotherham, who managed to beat Huddersfield Town at the start of the season. Do you take anything from that game going into this one?
Yeah, 100%. I think we've watched clips of the game and things we can do better, and how we can end up winning that game now, because that's what we're trying to do.
Do you feel like you're a different side now to the one that played Rotherham at the end of August?
Yeah, 100%. I think that game was very early in the season. I think it was my first game, so it was very new for me, that first game, and now we all know each other very well, know what we need to do in a game and how to win games, so it's a big difference.
Yeah, it's that communication, that understanding has improved.
Yeah, a lot.
And in terms of beating Rotherham, I mean, what was that experience like of playing against them? Because they can be a tricky side to take on, they're very direct.
Yeah, they play very direct, physical. They try to make it a fight, I think, and I think we just need to be ready for that and match them in that, and then show that we can play with the ball and create our chances.
Do you quite enjoy that kind of contest?
Yeah, I think we should always start a game with a fight. If you can't bring that, then you can't really win a game without a fight, so I think we're all ready for that.
If there can be any criticism levelled at you at the moment, it's that sometimes there have been a couple of slow starts, first halves that haven't quite gone. How do you address that to make sure that you sort of set off as you mean to go on?
I think we're all trying to figure that out as a team, that we've had a couple of slow starts, like the first half we just don't play how we should play, and then we come out the second half and we're a lot better. So now we're just trying to start the game as sharp as we most of the time end the game, so it comes from the group, get everyone sharp before the game, talk to each other, so yeah.
I suppose people could level it. Are you a bit complacent going into games sometimes, given where you are in the table and how well things have been going?
I get that it might look like that, but I don't think we are thinking like that in our heads. We want to win every game. We are trying to start every game sharp. Sometimes little things happen that can change the momentum of the game, but we just need to talk to each other and keep ourselves sharp in the game. And, yeah.
You are really nicely placed at this stage of the season, right up there, very much in contention. You've been promoted from League One before with Plymouth. Do you see any similarities on the run that got you promoted with Plymouth to where you are with Huddersfield now?
Yeah, I think that season is just about the games that you're not having your best day, that you still pick up them points, because they count at the end of the season. It's like small margins, like the differences aren't big. So if we can just keep on picking up points, hopefully we can get there.
So I suppose results, when you do get a very late equaliser against Burt, things like that kind of give you that sense that it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, I think everyone knows with that 13 games unbeaten streak that it is going in the right direction, but we just need to prepare for every game as if it's the last game, really, and just play to pick up as many points as possible, and at the end of the season we'll see where we stand.
Last couple from me, somebody who's arrived at Huddersfield Town over the last week or so, Ruben Roosken. Is he somebody that you know from your time in the Netherlands or not?
No, I didn't know him before, but I spoke to him, and good guy, trying to help him settle in, and hopefully he can play as fast as possible. Yeah,
it was slightly similar backgrounds. Is there any advice that you've been able to offer him as to how to settle in here?
Advice to settle in, yeah. Just spoke about how we do things here and how the group is, what kind of guys are in the team, and I think he understands how to do. He's been around in football long enough as well, so he'll be all right.
Got quite big shoes to fill coming in for Mikael Miller, who unfortunately has suffered that injury. Do you see him as the sort of player who will be able to do a good job in that role? What can we expect from him?
Yeah, I think he's a left wing back, obviously, so attacking very good. I've seen some things about him, so hopefully he can fill his shoes.
Good stuff. Thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. We'll just come to Stephen Chicken from We Are Terriers next.
Hi Nigel, good to see you. I think we've seen from you the importance that you have on the ball to the way the team attacks. Is that something that Michael Duff wants from you? Is that, or is it more defence first? Is it finding a balance?
I think it's finding a balance. Obviously want to help the team on the ball with my qualities on the ball and get the team forward, but I think as a defender it's very important that you do your defensive job as well.
Yeah, I think Michael spoke earlier this season. He said, you're a very laid-back character. He wants you to be a bit less laid-back on the pitch. Is that something you've taken on board?
Yeah. I'm a laid-back person, and sometimes I can get a bit sloppy in the game, but I think I've been working on that a lot, and he keeps me sharp about that as well. Talks to me about it, so I think it's getting a lot better.
Yeah. Another player obviously really well is Joe Hodge, or presumably you do, being teammates at Wolves. But he's been we've not seen a huge amount of him. Do you expect now that he's back available that he can offer a different dimension to the team?
Yeah, he's back fit, so he's been training with us and he's doing very well. He looks sharp, so he's a good player on the ball as well, so hopefully he can get us winning games again and helping the team.
Yeah, I think we already saw that against Burton. I think after he came on, that was, I know there will have been other factors, players getting forward, etc., but you had that late run of shots and corners that eventually produced the goal. He was quite important to that, wasn't he? Yeah,
he had a good impact on the game when he came on, so I was happy to see him playing again and that he looks good again.
That's all for me. Thanks, Nigel. Good to talk to you.
Yes, Steve. Thank you very much, everybody.
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
You got it? All right.
We're going to kindly take you to the bar now.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yellow for each other, and then I think media will probably the pink one, please, if possible. Gents.
Good
Come on, chappy. Come on.
Pressure's coming on. Yeah, they're bringing on people like Ollie Norwood. It's a yellow card for the team in the 92nd minute. Nigel, interview finished, a little bit more relaxed now. Tough game today, how are you feeling afterwards?
Yeah, it was a tough game. a bit tired on the pitch, but I feel good now. Yeah.
Good. I know you had a little bit of a problem coming off, but touch wood, that's not anything too serious.
Shouldn't be anything too serious. I'll get some treatment tomorrow and it'll be all right.
We won't make any decisions right now for you. We'll leave that with the coach and the medics. Obviously, you missed the last game with suspension, probably frustrating for you, but necessary yellow card?
I don't think it was necessary, but if I have to do it, then it happens a little bit. Got another one today, but I'll try and not get 5 again.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but you've done it for me. You've had a really good run in the team. You've obviously been enjoying your football. You're growing in confidence. The fans are really enjoying you. It must be a good feeling for you right now.
Yeah, I feel good. I'm happy. I'm feeling good. Everything's going well. Playing games, winning games, so can't complain.
You obviously come here for an experience of first team football and sort of maturity and things that come with that, but it's a mature time in your personal life as well. You're expecting your first little one as well. How's that?
Yeah, exciting times. I'm very happy. Time's flying, to be fair. Not long left, so I'm very excited about that as well. Yeah.
Mother and baby doing well?
Yeah, very good. Happy, relaxed at home, so it's good.
I can tell you from personal experience, this Christmas is a lot quieter than what next Christmas is going to be.
Yeah, it was the last quiet Christmas, so now excited.
It changes, obviously, your focus a little bit sometimes, doesn't it? Have you spoken to the other guys? Because you've got some older boys with a couple of kids in there, haven't you?
Yeah, there's a lot of stories about it, but my missus, to be fair, she helped me a lot, and she's very good with it, so I can keep my focus on football, and when I'm home, it'll be all right.
Excellent, because you guys obviously have limited time where you either have a lot of time at home or a little time at home. It must be exciting for you that it's going to bring a refreshed, focus when you get back in the house.
Yeah, it's always nice that when you come home that you can kind of leave the football away and just get your head away from things, and now with a little one on the way, I think it'll work out.
It's tough at this moment in time, obviously, because we've got a game every 2 seconds, it feels like. Is that positive or negative? I suppose it's how you're doing at the time, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I enjoy it. I enjoy playing games. That's all I want to do, really, so I don't mind it. Just keep my body fit and just keep playing games.
Well, fingers crossed that your issue isn't too serious, and we'll speak to you again soon, mate.
Perfect, thank you.
Cheers, mate. I think you know these guys, do you?
Ruben, how are you? Good to see you. You well? Hoe is het? Het is allemaal gelukt. Dus,
Hi, I'm Joe. Nice to meet you.
Gezien? Best in Joe. Je hebt het al gezien? Nee.
Okay, I'm just going to show them the dressing room first. Show them the dressing room, then we're going to go that way. So you come on that day, you come in right at the other end, and then walk down to the walk down here. So it's set up ready for tomorrow's game. So like I said, we spent a good chunk of cash on it to make it better. So the whole do the ice bath as well and everything, so good to go. Raj. To
its out.
Brilliant. Okay, ready, mate? Brilliant. And then the tag. One more. Good.
Perfect here. Could you stand right here, please?
Should I get over here?
Hey.
You bring it over the top of the barrier? Summer, and I'm glad to. Good, it's worth waiting for.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. No, I'm excited. Me too. Yeah, me too. Really. Alright, go ahead. Jump in there, guys. Have a seat.
And then, if you could sign that now, please.
Gekeken dat als jij, stel je zou verhuurd worden en er zou een andere speler betrokken worden, dat jij zeg maar.
So if you could sign each page. That one, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Congratulations. Yeah, well, congratulations. Well done. Yeah. Mark,
Yeah,
congratulations.
pleasure. So one last thing. So Jake and I, when we came in, we decided that every player should get a shirt, but not just a normal shirt because you get them every week. Just one with your own name, your first name on it.
Okay.
So that's for you to keep to mark this occasion. So
Thank you.
good to have you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
That's good.
Your show now, Marcus.
Anything you want specific? Alright, we'll do one for every round.
Okay.
Love that. And then we'll do like on bag.
Okay.
Like a little, yeah, perfect. Like looking at the bag as well. Real.
So you're not covering the sponsor.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
You played against him, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
You played it, yeah. So he's almost back fit.
Perfect. I think I'm happy with us for that one.
Hi Darius, Ruben here. Really happy to be here and I hope to see you tomorrow at the game. Ciao.
Perfect. One take.
I became a boxing day doing all the crap. John Smith.
Go on, Darius!
Looking at 13 today. Come on, Mr. Duff.
Oh, look at that! Oliver, you can come back and have yours.
think recent form for Huddersfield Town obviously speaks for itself. It's been excellent. They've really stayed in that peloton towards the top of League One, and the win over Stockport was obviously a massive result for Town at this stage of the season. I think there's been a lot of grinding out results at times, finding a way to win, but I think that's important. You need to have that ability to dig in sometimes and get a result, and I think Town have been really good at that. Cambridge, obviously, they've just battered them 4-0, which was good to see. It's good to see they've got that change of gear as well, but I think it's interesting that they've had so many different kinds of goals, so many different goal scorers. You know, they've had that run of set pieces that they had in sort of November when Mike Pearson was seemingly getting on the score sheet every week. Michal Hellick got one as well. And then, you know, that's sort of gone on to one side for the moment, but Callum Marshall's hit really good form. Obviously it was an own goal against Stockport. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck along the way, but I think it's been interesting the past few weeks seeing, I think earlier in the season there was some questions from some fans about, oh, is this 3-5-2 every week, is this the way to go? But I think as the team have settled into it, you've seen it's become quite fluid within that system. So you're seeing, you know, Josh Caroma's been playing wing back recently, but he pushes a bit higher. If Ollie Turton's on the other side, he might drop a bit deeper, and all of a sudden it's still a 3-5-2 kind of, but it's become a 4-4-2 or it's become a 4-3-3, and it's quite sort of subtle little changes that have happened within the formation that I think have served Town quite well. I think a lot of the changes within games have been positive and have helped them get the results. Obviously Lincoln coming back from 2-0 down to get that 2-2 was a great example of that. So hopefully we'll have more of the same both for this game and in the coming weeks.
You know when you see all the guys in the boat, they're not all out, are they? The other green guys are. Thank
you. We want you to again join forces in remembering those who struggled against the fighters in 2024.
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm pleased to be joined by head coach Michael Duff. We'll start again with Catherine Hanna from BBC Radio Leeds.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Michael. Let's start with January transfer window then. How close are you to potentially announcing some new signings?
Well, no closer at the minute. Say it all the time, until they walk in the door and they sign on the dotted line, there's no point talking. I don't have to say the same thing after every one, but we've missed out on a couple early in the last window that were literally in the door, but they hadn't signed on the dotted line. So there's plates spinning constantly. Conversations we know what we've been looking for quite a long time. So we've got a pretty definitive list, whether they're permanents or whether they're loans, and those conversations are ongoing. It's not all just down to us. You're reliant on other clubs, whether it's parent clubs or other clubs looking to sell. There needs to be lots of agreements made all the way along the line. So no nearer. There won't be anything coming in before the next game. I know that.
Okay. Outgoings, we've seen Jaheim Headley move on to Port Vale. Just start with a bit on that. Why did you feel that was maybe the right decision for both parties?
Jaheim needed to play football. He's made 13 appearances this year. Hadn't quite worked out for him. He's been at the football club quite a long time, and you get to a point and an age where he wants to go and play football, and we can't provide him with what he wants. So it's an amicable sort of parting. We wish him well. He's been great with us during in terms of around the way we're trying to move things culturally. He's not been resistant to any part of that, but that's part of the sport. He's gone to a manager we probably played under more than he has done with me. I wish him all the best, but yeah, there's no ill feeling between any of us.
Have there been any bids for any of your other players?
No, not that I'm aware of. Well, no, I think it's unless Mark hasn't telling me something I don't know. We're 3 days in, so I'm sure. Like I said, I've just said we rely on other people. It might not get to a point where I'm not involved in every conversation going. There may have been bids that it's just been poo-pooed straight away, so it doesn't need to come across my desk. But as far as I'm aware, there's nothing from in terms of outgoings.
As you say, a lot of plates to juggle. In an ideal world, though, would you rather any business is done sooner rather than later? Anyone
in this job will tell you that they want them all in the 1st of January. It's always the same. You don't want to have to wait. So that's why you have lists that ideally you get to sort of cut-off points of. It might be a number one, right, we're going to wait this length of time, then it's this length of time, then it's this length of time. And sometimes you've got to wait on clubs getting people in there's always a chain. And unfortunately, where we are now in League One, you're a rung further down the chain. So players being players generally want to play at the highest level, so they might be hanging out for something they perceive to be better. But yeah, it's ideally I don't want to be having a pizza on deadline day at 10 o'clock at night, still sat and hanging around here. Hopefully it'll all be done by then.
These two subjects kind of related. Could you give us an update on Danny Ward?
Yeah, Wardy unfortunately has done his cruise ship, so that'll be his season done. innocuous incident. You know, he's taken a volley like that many times, and it doesn't look great when players go down like that. It's, you know, you watch a lot of football and sometimes they go down theatrically, but you know when it's a serious one, and pretty much when they lie on the floor and they put their hand in the air, he knew straight away, probably subconsciously. So it's really unfortunate. He's actually with a specialist today, with one of the physios. So we'll go and we'll support him as best as we can, and we'll see what that looks like in terms of surgery dates and things like that. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not great news on that front.
Which kind of leads me back to the transfer window. There's been so much talk about potentially bringing in another striker. Does that make that even more imperative now if Ward's going to miss the rest of the season?
I don't think you need to be a rocket scientist. I mean, people know what we've been looking for since the summer. So that's what I mean. It's been pretty clear. It's not like we've had that Ruben came in off the back of Mikel's injury. So that was a reaction to an injury. The rest of the squad is pretty balanced, pretty full. So we'll be looking to add in that area of the pitch, definitely. But that hasn't changed since August.
With Ruben, is he available to start for you against Rotherham?
Yeah, he's his, what do they call it? GB. There you go. There. He's allowed to play. So he's been with us, but he's not been allowed to train. And then today he was training on his own because you're literally not allowed to pass a ball to another player until your permit comes through. We got the news, so the training session had finished when he came over. He's all excited to come and train, and the session had finished. So, but he's available for tomorrow. He'll be registered. So hopefully we can get him involved as soon as possible. He's deadly, really excited to be here.
And if it fits with your team selection, you'd be more than happy to start him if required.
It's probably unlikely that he'll start. We need to. He's not trained with the players yet, so I think it's a big ask to throw him into a local derby in a different country, where the football might be slightly different to the football that he's used to. So, if we think it's appropriate, we'll involve him. But yeah, he won't be starting.
Just to go back to, let's start with Wigan first of all. How did you use that time once you realised the game wasn't going to go ahead?
We were having pre-match, so we were in the area. We were at Haydock, having pre-match when we got the news. So the lads had food and we sent them home, and tried to turn it into a normal week. So they would normally be off on a Wednesday, so they had the rest of the day off. And then we've had a Thursday, Friday run into a Saturday game, which is as normal as we can make it. They would have played Saturday, been off Thursday, in Friday. So it normalises the week a little bit more. Football is a creature of habit, so it's unfortunate for them because they didn't get a new year, but they would have had one anyway. There was a nasty rumour around that saying I found out it was cancelled before New Year's Eve, which wasn't true. But no, it's just a bit of downtime, 2 days run into a match day, which is as normal as it gets.
It's frustrating in some ways for the game not to go ahead having done all the prep for it, but if you're looking on the glass half full side of things, good to maybe have a couple of extra days between games?
I think so. We've got people getting closer and closer, so it gets them closer, a couple of extra days training. You look at the midfield three particularly, they've sort of held the fort really with so many injuries in that area of the pitch, so we were prepped properly, and obviously it was nothing to do with Wigan, nothing to do with us. It was, if you've seen the flooding in the local area, I live in that area, Greater Manchester, and it was pretty bad. So yeah, it was you just try and find the positives in it, and hopefully an extra couple of days rest will benefit us.
We weren't sure whether we were going to see you in the dugout or not had the Wigan game gone ahead because of the red card against Burton. Can you tell us any more what happened with that and kind of what the fallout is from that situation?
The fallout's no further action, so no suspension, no fine. Basically it's been rescinded. So I didn't think I did a lot at the time, but it's in the emotion of the game. So yeah, I think it was a strange incident, so yeah, probably less to say better because nothing's happening from off the back of it, so yeah, we'll just move on.
Okay. I mean, why did the ref send you off?
I think I entered their technical area to try and find a ball that has suddenly disappeared. But yeah, it just opens up another can of worms, so it's, as far as I'm concerned, well, it's done and dusted, so I would have been available to sit or stand in the technical area, which is, from my point of view, pleasing.
Yorkshire derby next then against Rotherham, who picked up a really good away win last time out. Can you learn anything from the defeat at Rotherham earlier in the season that you can take into this game?
I think we're a different team to them. I think if we were the team now and we go 1-0 up with 10 men with 10 minutes to go, I don't think we lose the game. So I think we're a stronger group. Mentality's miles stronger. They've not changed that much in the way they play. We've not changed that much. So it'll be a tight game, and it'll be a typical, I'd imagine, local derby. Place to be rocking, and we know what Steve Evans' teams bring. But I think hopefully, it doesn't mean we'll win the game, by the way, because it doesn't mean we'll go 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go. But hopefully we won't be down to 10 men. So again, as we always say, you want it to be a good game. You want the best team to win. You don't want it to be a referee decision or anything like that. It'll be a tough game. You never have easy games against a Steve Evans team. I've never played Rotherham as a Huddersfield manager, but I imagine there's been a few ding-dongs over the years. So yeah, expecting a high-tempo, energetic game.
Are you expecting him to go with a similar team to the one that beat Lincoln? Because he really shook things up for that game and left out some players that, from the outside looking, you'd go, oh, okay, wouldn't have expected that. Do you think he's likely to stick with that, or maybe to revert back to some of those more high-profile players that Rotherham have?
I don't know. They've had, like I said, we've had an extra bit of rest. It's a gruelling schedule at the minute, so that I'd imagine Steve will pick and choose who he thinks is. It was a really good performance from them. We know Lincoln are a good team, and they were fully deserving of the win as well. It wasn't a smash and grab by any means. But I think the one thing, I don't think they're going to change too much away the style in which they play, the profile of the players they brought in to fit into a set system, as us. So Steve will pick the team that he fits best. It's, they've probably not had. The first half of the season has probably been disappointing in terms of what the expectation was, but it's difficult. There's been huge turnover at that football club. They've had a couple of years of similar to here, where they just stayed up and then they end up getting relegated. So there's so many factors that you need to get right in a turnaround, and sometimes you have to shake things up. He's an experienced manager with God knows how many promotions and games under his belt, so he'll do what's right for him, and we have to react to it and hopefully counteract it to try and win the game.
Final word on team news, Danny Ward. Obviously, we've talked about, you're saying there's a couple that are close. You talked previously, there's been a bit of illness in the camp as well. So overall, how are you looking for tomorrow?
Yeah, still threadbare. But no illness in the camp now, so that's another positive with the extra couple of days. There was a couple of more sort of blocked noses sort of things rather than a genuine illness. We've still got a couple of staff members off, so it is still going around, but I don't think it's affecting the group. Anthony Evans is back in full training now. Joe Hodge has obviously played 25 minutes the other day, so he's got an extra 2 or 3 training sessions, which every training session is valuable at the minute to get these players back fit. So there's a little bit more depth, but it's, with Wardy going down, it's 1 in, 1 out.
Good luck. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Catherine. We'll just come to Stephen Chicken from We Are Terriers next.
Hi, Michael. Is Joe Hodge still on, sort of building up his minutes at this stage?
Yeah, Hodgie's. You can't go 10 weeks out to playing 90 minutes. So even if we were to decide to start him for whatever reason, he probably wouldn't be able to do a full 90. But in an ideal world, we'll build him. We'll build him gradually, as you do with most of them. That's why when Lass came on at half time, he'd been built up that we knew he could do 40. Well, we thought we could do 45 minutes. So with that length of time, but yeah, every training session is sort of increases 5-10 minutes every time with the time on feet and the loading.
How is Lass doing? Is he expected back anytime soon?
Yeah, like I said, it's more of an irritation of a scar tissue, nervy type feeling. So he's had some isokinetic testing. So his hamstring is slightly. He feels okay in himself, but we don't want him to break again. So he's had this specialist sort of testing, and it gives you a percentage of strength markers compared to the other one, and he's slightly down. So he'll get that. Will get revisited next Thursday, and once it gets to a certain percentage of what the pre-scores were and the other hamstring is, then he's allowed to join in. But yeah, it's a funny one because it's not if you to scan him, it's not an actual injury. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. And Rodinho, obviously, he's been playing for the B team, been out for a long time. Is he hopefully back this month?
Well, Rad's case of building him up. He's been out a long time. He's had 2 B team games. So, with the greatest respect in the world, the intensity of the B team games are nothing like a League One football match. So, it's difficult. It's going to be difficult for Rads because we're stocked in that area. But he's a good player. So all he can do is keep training. And once I think by the end of the month, you'd like to think he'll be up to speed. Obviously, during this sort of 10-day window over Christmas, New Year, there are no under-21s B team games. So there's a game. So that doesn't help him. You know, he's happy to come in and play every day when everyone else wants to have Christmas off. So because he's missed so much time. So it's just making sure we time it right. He's chomping at the bit, and he's training well. He's training fully every day. But because of the schedule, it's been recovery, match prep, so he's not getting proper training sessions in, so to speak. So that's sort of hurting his progress as well. Yeah,
and sorry to keep going on with injuries, but Reece Healy, Lee Nichols, any timescales on those 2 at all, please?
Reece is still with the physios, so he's not in any sort of training with us yet. So I don't know a timescale on that one. Lee had a bit of an irritation, so he had like a PRP injection, so we had to rest for a week, and he's back. He's not full training. He's on the grass with the goalkeeper coaches now, so he's starting to get pitch geography, handling, bit of sharpness and things. So he'll be closer than Reece, I would imagine. But it's the same as when you get an MCL. It's a similar thing in your elbow. Every now and then it just catches. Right. It's getting sort of the confidence in it, and it only hurts for 5 or 6 seconds, and it goes back to normal. But it's getting that confidence in your arm, because they're quite important for goalkeepers.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Just reflecting on the last game, obviously, you know, good to get the equaliser in the end and get something out of the game. But we were speaking to Pato afterwards, and you know, he was saying, in not so many words, he said it nicer than this, but the strikers really need to step up and take their opportunities better. Is that a sentiment you would share?
Well, we had 29 shots in the game. Yeah. So it's the most shots we've had. It's the highest XG of the season. So statistically, it was our best game. It wasn't our best game, we know that. But in terms of shots, XG, all those sort of metrics, we did more than enough to win 2 games probably. We shot ourselves in the foot. They scored a lucky goal. It comes from a ricochet, it comes from a breakaway, and the lads kicked it from one foot off another foot into the net. But the reaction from half time was really positive. They took information well, and we've just camped in their half for 55 minutes and done everything but score the winner. So you can put it on centre forwards. Ultimately, it's centre forwards get judged on goals. It's the same as goalkeepers get judged on clean sheets. That's not me being ruthless or me being harsh. They're the facts. Midfielders get judged on assists. So, you know, there was enough opportunities, and it's not always reliant on the centre forwards. And there's a big thing being made of the centre forwards at the minute, probably because of what happened in the summer, and we missed out on a centre forward. So it probably shines the spotlight a little bit more on them. But you know, if we play tomorrow and we have 29 shots, I'll be disappointed if we don't win the game.
Yeah, I suppose Ruben's arrival hopefully means you can solve the problem there, because it means you can longer term put Josh Cromer back up top, doesn't it? But then, as you say, you've lost Wardy, so maybe you've wanted one out again there.
Yeah, it's you've got to be fluid. The reason why Josh has ended up going out there, he's comfortable, but we've had to change the build up. We build in a 4 now, not in a 3. You know, Josh gets us high and wide, and then as we get further down the pitch, Brody gets, or whoever's playing right wing back, provides the width. So, you know, in certain areas of the pitch we're a back 4, certain areas of the pitch we're a back 3. When we're defending, quite often we're a back 5, but then quite often we're a 4-4-2. So you've got to find ways, which is what we're having to do at the minute, because numbers have been limited, and you're trying to find a way to be to hurt the opposition in the best ways. You know, the Lincoln game, I think it was, when we tried the more defensive wing backs, it showed in 45 minutes that wasn't really going to work. So we haven't looked at that one again because we didn't like what we saw. But the reaction from the other day is it was really positive, and you know, I know Gary really well. He was absolutely delighted with the point, as you would be, because they were bottom of the league, and the expectancy is, you'll just go and beat them. But you see, over Cambridge went to Wrexham, we've got the best at home home record in our league by a country mile, and Cambridge go up there and get a draw. You know, you see Ipswich beat Chelsea in the Premier League. So this time of year, you get loads and loads of funny results. The positive is that the reaction was good. The positive, we created loads of chances, and you just hope somebody puts the hand up. You know, from a coaching point of view, we can get him into certain areas of the pitch, and then it's one thing we can't do is kick the ball in the net for him. So that's when it becomes the responsibility of different players in different positions. Like, people think I'm talking just about forwards. Chappie's the same. Chappie's got responsibilities to keep a clean sheet. The centre halves are expected to go and head the ball and attack aerially and defend space and things like that. So it's every job, every position has roles and responsibilities, and part of a centre forward is scoring goals.
Yeah. You talk about sort of needing to be fluid. I think obviously Josh has been really important for that. It gives you options, but Brodie Spencer as well. You know, he's been all season been very flexible, and it's fair to say we've seen a bit more out of him in attack over the past few weeks as well.
I think so. I think probably people have seen a different side of Brodie now, because Brodie probably had his best game for us against Stockport when we were under the cosh for a long period of time.
Yeah.
But that's what we saw last year, when it was a deep block, a 5-4-1. You know, without trying to sound too clever, Huddersfield drew a lot of games last year because they sat in a deep block and defended for their lives, which is what we came up against who did we play? Burton. And it ends up being a draw. So it's not like we've not seen this record before, it's just on the other foot. So the thing that we're seeing from Brodie is now we're getting him higher up the pitch. It gives you flexibility, it gives you energy and pace. Things that he's got to improve on are that part of the pitch, because things we've been working on with him is, you know, Brodie's not going to go and get the ball high and wide, do a double step over, drop his shoulder and cross it from there, but you don't have to. He's a different type of player, so you can still beat a man. His first touch has to go in certain areas, he needs to get his body position in certain areas, so then he can play a 1-2 around someone, or he gets in on a third man run, because one thing is he's physically very good. So they're just trying to add those sort of strings to his bow, because he's got a lot of good fundamentals that you want from a modern day footballer.
On the other side, Ruben, I've looked at, you know, his numbers and things. He looks quite like for Mikel. Is that what you're hoping for from him?
Yeah, we hope so, because Mikel was good. It's competition. He's played 15 games in the top division in Holland. So, you know, you look at some of the teams in that level, at that level, and in that league. There's some good players and some good teams. So, yeah, it's quite funny when they introduced to each other the other day. It was obviously Ruben couldn't train, and Mikel was just watching training, and so they shook each other's hand. And I was like, well, there you go, Mikel. There's your competition right there. So it adds depth, it adds quality. He's robust. He's played games of football this season where sometimes in January he's signing players that haven't been playing for whatever reason. So no, we think he'll add. He's a forward-thinking wing back. He's not a defending wing back. He's a winger wing back, if that makes sense, rather than a full back wing back, where we want to do most of his work in the top half of the pitch.
Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Cheers, Steve. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see the majority of you tomorrow.
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.